purchasing of the alcohol, handled the cigarettes, which was huge.
Right.
Back in those days, Lee, I don't know if you remember, cigarettes were topped out at about, going back into the mid 90s, at around $5.50, $6 a pack. They were getting $20 a pack back then in the bars.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
we had a
yeah.
couple of hookups that were able to get them through the military, of all places. One of the cops was in the military prior. I don't know what you would call it, but he would go get them, and we made a fortune just off of cigarettes. We didn't even have to go to Carolina. He was just bringing them in from there. But
Yeah,
he
you
also
didn't have the
bought-
taxes, is what it was. You didn't have the federal tax.
Well, I was involved with
Try
the
to explain it to
yeah,
me.
yeah, I was involved with the cigarettes in Flushings that you talk about that. But back then they used to bring them in from the Indian reservation, and there was Israelis there. They had this New York stamp, and they would put the stamp on it, and then they would make a huge profit off of it.
I tell you, the one time I almost got in trouble, and I mean real trouble. We bought Marlboros and Marlboro Lights. Those were the two largest selling cigarettes. Marlboro Light, and if you remember Parliament, the one that had
Yep.
the dark blue and the what. Okay, so we had an Irish guy, and he was a good friend of mine. I knew him through the construction business because I dabbled in that a little bit too. And he says, I got a guy, he's got 10 18-wheelers full of Marlboros and Marlboro Lights. I said, what kind of prices are you looking for? He goes, $5 a cart. And I said, no, we got it for that kind of price, we're going to negotiate it down. Well, what I didn't know, we bought them all. They were from South Africa. However the hell that, I don't know how he got them here or whatever. I don't know that end of the story. The tobacco was like smoking poison. What was the difference in the tobacco? And I actually found some people who bought them out, thank God, because I would have been stuck with all of these. You know, it was my deal. I went out and made the deal. It wasn't that they were illegal cigarettes, or it's just that the tobacco in South Africa is completely different than United States tobacco. So, I mean, but there was such a profit in cigarettes. We were thinking about driving to the Carolinas, and I was talking to this guy one night. His name was Paul. He goes, Tony, come on, take a walk with me around the corner. I want to ask you something. And that's when he told me about buying from the military and stuff like that. I think it was the packaging store, the packing store or something they call it. Jen's tried to explain it. I don't know. I was only in there for a couple of weeks. So whatever it was, and that's where I made a boatload of money. I was actually able to buy my first home off of that.